My questions and discussion goes to the final presentation. Yeah, I'm very interested in the quality seed production and marketing. I have some experience with the JICA project of the quality seed production in ARD. That is the some limitation. And so I would like to your experience for the quality seed marketing. How about the seed producer? I mean the farmer is willingness to carry on this seed production. And another one is how about the quality seed price? It is the difference between the normal grain seed and quality seed price. I mean, how much difference can get? Yeah. I'm the engineer from Yezin Agricultural University. Thank you.
My name is Coach Tanaka from One Year JICA project. Then I'd like to ask Dr. Paulsen from Cambodia regarding, in relation to your conclusion. So in your conclusion, there was an explanation about the limitation of the use of the organic matters. But you didn't explain about the background of the reason why the farmers cannot use the organic fertilizer or organic compounds. So I'd like to ask the background and the reason why the farmers is in the difficult position to use the organic matters.
Okay, Pascalina from CIRAD, so agronomist from CIRAD working in Laos on the Efficace project. So thank you all three for the presentation. I have two questions actually. One is on the links in between livestock and paddy rice. In Laos, the lowland paddy rice production is highly related with livestock. So the manure is used for the yield. At the same time, the paddy rice residues are used for the animal feeding. So how you integrate this in your plan to promote agroecology, and especially regarding we have a strong problem in Laos related to free animal roaming. During the dry season, the animals are left freely roaming in the paddy area. And so it's a strong constraint for dry season production. And I'm thinking about green manure, for example. I mean, do you need to make a fence around, or so how you manage this, and also how you plan to use livestock in your plan to promote agroecology? And the second question is much more related to mechanization. In your presentation, you showed that there is a shortage of labor. So, and increase the labor productivity is always one of the main issues and one of the main objectives of the producers. So a lot of mechanization is introduced to planters, threshers to try to improve the labor productivity. What would be, according to you, the role of mechanization to promote agroecology in lowland paddy field? What could be the role? I know it's not discussed, but it's a question we all have in the area. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. So regarding the yes, the can get higher price. Last year they get 3,000 Yamachat more than normal grain by basket. And for that, for the promotion and for the marketing, actually the PGS farmers, they are gathered in a network now. So they have planning all over the year to make the marketing to the miler and other farmers. We organize field visits for farmers to be able to see the result in the field. So actually the demand starts to increase, and we even can get now better price for quality grain. We have quality seed, we have quality grain, and it starts to be recognized by the other farmer and also by the milers. Yes.
Okay, thank you for the question. So I would like to provide briefly background of agricultural paddy production in Cambodia. So actually, organic rice production it's about 10 to 20% of the rice cultivated area in Cambodia, and mainly located in the southern part or southern east part of the country, where is a smaller land size holding comparing to the northwest part of the country. So in northwest part of the country, land size holding is in average about 4 hectares per household. It can be up to 12 hectares per household. And the soil quality is also better than the southern part of the country, where where farmer can broadcast the seed for their production easily, and some farmers use a very little amount of organic fertilizer because of the soil quality seems better than the southern part of the country. So the limited of organic fertilizer used in northwest part of the country because of the labor cost, and also limited of the material available there. Farmer use hand tractor instead of using the cow for labor work, comparing to the southern part of the country, because northwest part very close to Thailand, and many agricultural machines import to that area. And another reason is many young generation migrate to work in the capital or to other country to get a better income, because the rice production can get about $300 per hectare per crop. If we divide it by, let's say, 4 or 5 months, so they get only $100 a month. But for 1 hectare, we may need at least 2 people to work on it. So it means $50 that can get for each crop for rice production in those areas. So it means it's not suitable for them for living support. So number of people working in rice paddy is declined very rapidly, and it instead by some agricultural machinery or some less taking care of rice practice in the northwest part of the country. That's why SOI principle was not adopted by the farmer in the northwest part of the country. You can see since 2000, SOI was introduced to Cambodia, and mostly going to where a small land size are carried by the farmer. It's not spread out to where the larger or medium land size are holding. And another reason is because of, let's say, alternative of their career. Instead of doing farming, they can work for something else. In recent years, the industry in the country has been developed quickly, and also the migration also become easier, that they can migrate to work in somewhere else. And one more thing, I think the government policy is not strong enough. As I mentioned it, although the government set a policy to be the organic agricultural product produced in the country, but it come up with slowly progress. Although some agricultural product produced like vegetable or fruit, including rice, but it seems going not quickly. So if I'm not respond to your question, you can ask me another question. Thank you.
Thank you. We still have time to go up another 3 more.
Okay, sorry. So regarding livestock and paddy cultivation, actually in Delta, due to Nargis, we don't have so much cattle. You cannot find many cows and buffaloes in Delta, so it's really limited. And so at the moment, we are more developing livestock for landless people, so not paddy farmer, working on paddy production with paddy farmer and other type of income generation activities like vegetable production, livestock with other type of farmer. We try to link the livestock with other production or vegetable cultivation around aquaculture pond or things like that, but not really with paddy production. And in the same time, I can just have a word about the mechanization. In Delta, what the farmer said is we are so flooded, so the soil is so wet that actually most of the machines, they cannot enter the field, so we have to find another way.
So much. I'm Shui Matan from Agri-Econ Department in YAU. I would like to ask a question to last presenter, and because I am very much interested in Delta region and the development of rural people over there, because they are poorest of the poor in our country. And I've been there for some survey conducted by IRI. And so what interesting thing I found was how can we develop the deep water field. So I would like to know your experience and your opinion regarding that we are planting rice in those deep water area, the local varieties. The yield is as low as 20 baskets per acre. But they are still growing rice over there. So my question may be a little bit not in the frame of your presentation, but I would like to know your general opinion regarding how to develop those wide area and to combat poverty. Thank you.
I want to have a small question to Dr. Pausen from Cambodia. The first question is, it seems that your farmer use too much seed, rice seed. And I wonder what happened to farmer adopting SI in your country. And my second question is, what factor contributing to success of organic rice in your country? Even you mentioned that your government policies does not work well, or the farmer are very hard in adopting in organic manure because of lack of material or so big area, etc. But what I learned from Cambodia that you are successful in exporting rice to US, to high-end market, much better than Vietnam. So in a large extent, you are successful. So can you tell me what factor contributing to that kind of success? Thank you.
Okay, thank you much for the question. So respond to the first question. So in the result from my study show that the seed farmer use about 50 kilograms per hectare to 200 kilograms per hectare. But the high amount of seed because of a broadcasting method. Some farmers believe that if we broadcast more seed, they may control weed because of the density of rye are higher than the broadcasting a smaller amount. And in fact, the higher amount of seed because of the broadcasting. If we transplanting, the amount of seed may be 1/3 of the production. So second question, I think agricultural machinery that may contribute to have agroecological practice. For instance, there's a lack of labor to apply SOI for a larger scale. That is the result for the case of Cambodia. We can introduce SOI to where is the smaller holding farmer, smaller land size holding farmer only. There was no SOI applied in the northwest part where the larger land size are. And if we are concerned about the organic agricultural product, we may understand what labor can be used to contribute to agricultural product for the organic purpose. For instance, to make compost, they waste the time than working for something else. That is also another concern about how we can promote organic product in the country. And in fact, as you mentioned, we export our meal rye to abroad successfully, as you mentioned, but in fact it's not. Our strategy to export 1 million meal rye in 2015, but the result was only about 600,000 tons per year. It means about 60% success to the strategy because of the storage, or because of the post-harvest technology is still limited in Cambodia. I mean, after harvesting rice, the price declined. To very low because many farmers try to sell rice to get money to return to microfinance or to use for something else. And the mills company, they have limited storage that they cannot get as much as the seller sell to them. So that is another reason of price fluctuation in the country. And meal rye was established recently, I think about 5 to 7 years, just emerging quickly. It could be succeed to 1 million ton of meal rye export when the mills company increased double time. What I think. So yeah, that's all.
In the light of the urgency from the neighboring country scientists, so we first respond. Now is the time for this.
So thank you for the question. So regarding deep water, I am sorry that we don't face this problem in the 2 townships we are working with. So the average basket production is more like 60 per per acre. We are not in deep water township. I think it's more around Piapon or things like that. For us, we are facing problem in salty water area. For example, there farmers normally they can grow only once per year paddy. So they wanted to try to grow twice per year. We tried other variety. We are playing with the variety, so we promote 2 short variety per year, and like Ceylon and sticky rice. And they were really doubtful the first year. Now it's really adopt, and the farmers they are all trying now this kind of varieties. So I think in each area the farmers they already have local varieties adapted to their own condition, and I'm pretty sure they must have some varieties adapted to deep water area. And the thing is, as we cannot find this kind of seeds in the formal system, maybe one thing could be to help them to produce quality seed for this, because we saw that we can increase just by using quality seed by 16 to 30% the yield. I think it can be the same. The second thing would be in deep water, the chemical fertilizer, they are leached really easily, so they are not really useful. So we can try other kind of technique like compost or something that it is not leached to see if they can increase the yield just this way. Just few technical because but I think it's what we would try if we would be working in deep water area. Yeah. I hope I answer your question.
Just to respond to Dr. Shumatin's question, it's actually the deep water rice. I mean, this area of study is still very young in Myanmar, but in our GET project, in this Alicia project, there is one guy from Vietnam. Is it Vietnam? Yeah, Vietnam. His name is Hien Nguyen. He is very much closely working with Myanmar for deep water rice improvement. And I will later let you have a contact with him to have a sharing of this information among. He is also one of the successful our small grant applicants in our Alicia project. Thank you.